Hello, my name is Hanna Skurczyńska and I work in the Department of Applied Linguistics. I'm going to talk about how to write a business report. But how much do you know about business report writing? Will you be able to answer these questions? What structure should be used? Why is the reader of the report important? What language features are relevant? What style should be chosen? And how should I approach business report writing? But before we start, we need a definition of the business report. A business report is a written text that analyzes a real-life business problem and recommends a solution. In the first question, I ask you about the structure of a business report. What structure should be used? Business people choose between writing short reports and long reports. Long reports have a complex structure. Short reports are easy to write. In this presentation, we'll be looking at short business reports. So a typical short report should be made up of 4 parts. An introduction, where you state the report objective, the body of the report, where you describe and analyze the problem, a conclusion, and a recommendation. In the second question, I ask you about the reader of the report. Why is the reader of the report important? The readers, or the audience that you want to read through your report, is important because it will affect all the different aspects of your report. Its content, its format, language and style. So it's important to keep the reader in mind. When you write, think about what the reader will understand and be interested to read. Use simple language. This will help the audience read your report. Keep to the point. Don't wander off talking about things that are not related to the report. Business people are very busy and they need to find the information quickly. And finally, choose the appropriate style. It's not the same to write for a senior manager as to a junior colleague, so you will have to decide what style you want to write in. In the third question, I ask you about the language features that are relevant for a business report. One of those features is the use of linking words. Linking words connect sentences and paragraphs, and in this way, help the reader understand the structure of your argument. What you can see on the screen are examples of linking words. Those that express sequence, addition, contrast, and cause and result. Other linking words can express a personal attitude. So when you start with clearly, what comes next will be obvious. If you start with apparently, you indicate that you're uncertain of your facts. Another relevant language feature of business report is the use of compound nouns. Compound nouns avoid the use of long phrases with prepositions. So for example, instead of saying the personnel of sales, you can say the sales personnel. Or instead of saying the writing of reports about business, you can say business report writing. The use of compound nouns helps the audience read your report. Using simple and direct language shouldn't be problematic for you. But how about writing a formal business report? In a formal business report, you need to make changes to the language that you use. Impersonal forms are often used in formal business reports. One of the examples of impersonal forms is the passive voice. We use the passive to focus on the action done and not on who's doing the action. Another example of impersonal forms is the combination of it with the passive. So in the first example, it's not relevant who's making the recommendation, but the recommendation itself. And in the second, it's not important who's pointing out that the situation is temporary. Question number 4 was about the style. What style should you choose for your report? Remember that when you write a report, you're not writing for yourself, but for your readers. So you should match the style to the reader. For example, when you write for your boss, you should choose a more respectful and formal style. When you write for a junior colleague, you can use a more direct style. Use everyday plain English. It's easy to write, it's easy to read, and simple to understand for everyone. Use the first and the second person. It's friendlier and more natural to say I or we when you're writing on behalf of your company. You should also use you to refer to your reader. Have a look at the examples on the screen. It would appear that a considerable cost reduction is needed. And compare that to it seems to us that you need to reduce costs. Keep sentences short. The longer the sentences, the harder will be to understand your report. Short sentences can have impact, and they will make your writing more lively to read. Use one paragraph for one idea. The use of short one-idea paragraphs will help your reader better understand your arguments. And finally, avoid jargon, that is special words and expressions that are only understood by a group of people doing the same kind of work. And avoid too technical words, unless the reader is an expert in the subject. In the last question, I ask you how you should approach business report writing. That is, what should you do at the beginning and what steps should you follow? The answer to this question is simple. You should write your report in 3 stages: preparation, writing, and editing. But what should you do in each stage? In the preparation stage, you should define the report purpose, collect and analyze the information, organize that information and make notes. And if you need, you can prepare illustrations or diagrams. In the writing stage, you have to write the text of the report. You should start with the introduction, then write the body of the report, the conclusions and the recommendations. And in the editing stage, you should check all the different formal aspects of your report: grammar, punctuation, spelling, and style. You should examine your illustrations or diagrams if you use them, and a good thing to do at the end is to read the report aloud to yourself or to someone else, and in this way gain a different perspective on your writing. As you can see, the preparation stage and the editing stage are longer than the writing stage, and they involve different steps. You need to follow them if you want to write an effective business report. And to finish, I'd like to summarize the main points of business report writing. Remember to use a clear 4-part structure for a short report. Remember that the reader is important. He or she affects our decisions on what to write and how to write. You should use simple language and style, but you need to adjust them if you write a formal report. And remember to approach business report writing in 3 stages: preparation, writing, and editing. Thank you very much.